London 94.9 Sport.
The best coverage 7 days a week.
BBC London 94.9.
The home of London sports.
I always like to have a guest or so in the studio. Now, I've had in this studio world champion Joe Calzaghe, Olympic-bound boxers Lee Selby and Nicola Adams and Natasha Jonas. I've had in this studio Frank Warren, Eddie Hearn, Darren Barker. Been some big pros and some top Olympic-bound amateurs in this studio. But I've got a bit of a unique one tonight. I've got a young fighter in the studio who's making his BBC London 94.9 boxing hour debut before he makes his pro debut. He fights on July the 5th at York as part of Box Nation's BoxAcademy. He's from Islington. He's coming on his own, and he trains near. Well, he trains sometimes in and around King's Cross, but also he trains because he's with Gary Logan, who's his trainer, former Southern Area champion and also former British light middleweight challenger. And he trains down at David Hayes Gym down in South London. It's a delight and a pleasure to welcome to the show Joey Taylor. Joey, how are you?
Hey there, Steve. Nice to be here, mate.
It's nice to be here. Joey, when I'm talking to you, if I do a sort of signal with my finger, that means carry on talking. And the reason I'm doing that is I've got to eat my supper.
Yeah, I've noticed.
My blood sugar levels have dropped. So when I do that, don't shut up. That means just carry on. Just say anything. Just ramble on. Talk about your favourite whatever, if it comes to that. First of all, Joe, welcome here.
Thank you.
They didn't tell you when they booked you, but you need to bring your passport, because if you're 24, I'm a Dutchman. Look at your face. You're about 7. You're about 16 at the most.
I ain't even had a shave for a week either, to be honest.
You do look young, Joe.
Yeah, it is. It's the little legs as well.
So when you were 19, you must have looked about 11. I mean, that's a compliment, don't you?
Yeah, well, I don't know about that, but yeah, sorry about
that. We had a kid box the other day on the BoxAcademy, Mitchell Smith.
Oh, right,
and he looks younger than you, and I think he's a couple of years younger, but he looks really young. Now you're turning pro on this show, which is the BoxAcademy, the Fight Academy, or BoxAcademy as they call it. It'll be your first fight. Joe, do you think you're going to sell plenty of tickets? Are you a sort of popular kid?
Yeah, well, plenty have done. I don't know about it. I talk the talk, so I've got to walk the walk, really.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, so I've sold quite a few tickets. There's still more on sale, and you can contact me on my Facebook,
which is what?
At Joeboy Fate 88.
And what about your Twitter? You got a sensible one or something?
Yeah, that's right, that is my Twitter. So that's my Twitter. My Facebook is Joeboy Taylor. Yeah. So yeah, just contact us on that, and we're ready to go, really.
Now, Joe, did you box as an amateur? You box? Who did you box for? Was it Islington you boxed for? Did you?
Well, no, I started in Shoreditch. I live like Oxford, Islington.
You're that board.
Yeah, I'm alright.
You're on that board as opposed to Islington Amateur Boxing Club, which is up at Highgate. It's miles away, isn't it?
But yeah, so I started a Lion Club, and then I moved to Brentwood, and they've already told me the Brentwood Blue Army to give them a shout out. So that was me, Dignams and Co. Yeah, it's a good memory you got there.
That's a good old club, that.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Well, my dad's the coach. He's done really well down there. Brought it from scratch. So he's produced.
And when you went to Lion, was Charlie Magby left, or was he still?
No, he was well gone before that. Yeah, he had the pubs and all that. Yeah.
Well, and wherever he is now, no one seems to know for sure. How did you do as an amateur? What did you do?
I don't know what. I have just under 50 contests. So won a few area titles like London, and then when I moved to Essex, I won the Essex, Eastern Counties. Got to a couple of finals. Boxed a boy that Ricky was talking about earlier, Scott Quigg. I boxed him in the final. Yeah, just come unlucky with him by, I think it was 2 points in the end.
Well, that Scott Quigg's a good fighter now.
And he hits very hard because I see stars. But definitely did. But yeah, I won a couple of gold medals in box cups in Denmark, Haringey.
Oh, you boxed in the Haringey one?
Yeah.
Good, yeah.
So, yeah.
And when you decided to what made you decide to turn pro? Apart from the idea that it's natural progression, but what was it? I mean, had you had your eyes on going pro, or was it just the thing, you know what, I could make a few quid and I fancy it as well? What was it? Because people don't really understand why people turn pro. They just think, oh, they want to do it, but sometimes there's other reasons.
Yeah, well, it's not really about the money. You get paid to do it because it's your job, but I do it because I love it, and I think as an amateur I weren't progressing any further, and the next stage to go would be to go pro, change your style, change your scenery, change everything really. It's a new start.
And have you, I mean, obviously you haven't had the fight yet. I mean, people keep telling you, like Gary will be telling you, and Adam Booth will be telling you, and David Hay will be telling you, and whoever else in the gym, George Groves will be telling you, it's different, it's slower, but the people are sort of tougher. I mean, they keep telling you that,
Yeah, that's the thing, because as an amateur, you're throwing 100 punches, looking for points. But as a pro, Gary's trying to calm me down, slow the work rate, like pick shots, and hit harder really.
Yeah.
Completely different.
And not panic's not the right word, but not to think that because you've been here, you've got to chase the guy.
Yeah, that's right.
You got 4 rounds or 6 rounds, or you know, soon up to 8 rounds. And sometimes too many pros try too hard. And then also, unfortunately, sometimes like John Dignam last time out, he lost at York Call the other week.
Yeah.
Because he sort of he didn't try enough. It wasn't like he got beat. You know, to be honest with you, he could have won it comfortably. You got the idea he was sort of holding back the whole time. So you've got to be careful of that. Make sure you don't overcompensate, John.
Well, I know John really well, and I know he was training hard for a fight, but it was just a week after his baby was born. So, to be honest, I don't know if he was in the right frame of mind for it or what.
You know when he was being interviewed afterwards, Joe?
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that. He just didn't look right.
Bewildered by it, yeah.
Bewildered, yeah.
I don't think he's in the right frame of mind for it.
You might, well, that teaches you a lesson. That teaches you a young lesson. If your head's not right, even if you're signed, you can't do it. You shouldn't do it, mate.
Well, I think you can get away with one mistake.
Oh yeah, no. But career-wise, it's not hurt him. Don't be.
But it's not. The thing, he can get away with one mistake, but he's make too many like that, and that's it.
Well, I suppose he knows now that he also what he does know now is he knows what it's like to lose, because he was obviously he's a successful amateur ABA champion and was in part of the England setup. So he knows now what it's like to lose, and if he gets that same kind of feeling, you got to fancy. He can put himself out. Got to
give you that extra bit of grip to get out of the way of it, innit?
Absolutely,
really?
yeah. I mean, you shouldn't be afraid. I'll tell you this now, and Gary and Adam and who are in the gym with you, and obviously you're managed by what? George and Francis Warren, or what is it?
I'm managed by Frank Warren.
Managed by Frank Warren, promoted by Queensberry.
Yeah, that's the one.
Right,
sort of thing.
So yes, George and Francis. So, but I was saying, Frank won't mind me telling you that if you don't think things are right like that on a week before fight, 4 days before fight, 3 days before, you got to tell them.
Yeah.
Tell them strong. I mean, because there's no good after them come in the changing room. Because the first thing they'll say, if something's happened, one of your friends has been sent to prison or something. No good then telling them after when they come in the changing room, trying to find out why you didn't fight properly. Yeah. The first thing they'll say is, "Why did you tell me before the fight?" So I'm telling you, there's something wrong. Tell them before the. Please tell them before the fight. Looking at you, Joey, right? You size-wise, you're gonna box that super feather.
Yeah, that's right.
Compact the super feather, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm as short as I am wide, really. I'm like a box. Yeah, so, but I'm probably one of the strongest out of weight.
Yeah, you would be. I bet you end up being one of the strongest out of weight. Now, it's really hard for you to say this before you get in the ring. But in an ideal world, what would you like? 6 fights in 12 months, maybe 7, John?
Well, it all depends. I'd fight every day. I love it. That's what I'm here for,
John,
really.
I had a feeling you were going to say that, son.
Yeah, but whatever Frank and Dean Powell sort out for us, then I think I have to give the nod. Well, Gary says to go ahead as well. He's very clued up on it.
Oh yeah, Gary is very clued up. And also, Gary, I like Gary because he's very defensive minded, and there's nothing wrong with that. Listen, sit yourself down there, Joey. Just relax yourself a little bit. Get your eyes off my pizza. Because still got Joey Taylor here with me. Joey, you had to listen to a couple of other people. Just remind people when you're boxing next.
It's 5th of July, Thursday the 5th of July at York Hall.
And Joey will be making his debut. I will check his birth certificate before then because he claims to be 24. I reckon he's quite, well, listen, if he's 24, he says he's 24. I'm not saying he's a liar, but he looks so fresh and so young. Now, Joey, you're going to be fighting men that have lost 8 fights and maybe won 1. But they're going to be tough, you know that, don't you?
Yeah, I've been in there with tough fighters, so.
And they're going to look at you, a kid, and they're going to try all sorts of things, you know that, don't you?
Yeah, that's alright. Been there, done it. I come from a rough neighbourhood, so I'll be alright.
Listen, Joe, I tell you, mate, I might have you back in. Win or lose, you're going to win this one.
Yeah, of course I'm going to win, always win.
I'll get you on the phone before then, and I'll speak to you after. You've listened to Steve Bunce on BBC London 94.9. We had Ricky Hatton on, we heard from David Hay, we heard from Joeboy Chisora. We looked at some stats and some facts regarding robberies and the decision last week. Then the Bodie man came in like he did. Then we had Joey Taylor come into the studio and sit down with me. Sadly, Mike Marley's gone on the missing list. And I wanted to talk to him about the situation with Floyd Mayweather. He's gone into prison for bashing up his ex-girlfriend. And he's got to serve 90 days. And after 5 or 6 days, he's complained. He wants to go home. Says the food's rubbish. He can't sleep. And he wants to do the rest of his 90-day sentence in his palace in Las Vegas, and he's really upset because the judge has said no, you can't go home. Unbelievable. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed enjoyed being with me. It's going to be the Olympic show coming up after the news and travel and stuff.